Let's go back to one of our top stories now, the state capture inquiry. We crossed our reporter Mzwandile Mbeche in Johannesburg. Good afternoon, Mzwandile. Testimony from Cheryl Carolus earlier on that left a few questions around SAA and the Public Enterprises Department. Talk to us a little bit about that.
Thank you very much, Nzenga. I think what has happened in this testimony really was the spotlight that has been shown on the former Minister of Public Enterprises, Home Affairs and Finance Minister, Minister Malusi Gigaba. They are talking about the route to Mumbai, rather from Johannesburg to Mumbai. Remember, it was operated by SAA. And that pressure really that came from the Jet Airways to cancel it. But what is interesting, Zinga, is that is perhaps the role allegedly played by Minister Gigaba then. So when he had taken over as the Minister of Public Enterprises, obviously responsible for this portfolio, so they had a meeting one time in Johannesburg where really the minister was to meet with the board of SAA, and then somehow they had to wait for 3 hours. And no one was sure what is it that they were waiting for until perhaps after 3 hours when a man from India, who was the president of Jet Airways, came in. And interestingly, in that meeting, according to the testimony of Ms. Carolus, is that the president of Jet Airways effectively take over that meeting, which really left them quite confused as to what actually was going on. And in that meeting also was someone who was present was the legal advisor to the minister, Mr. Siyabonga Mahlangu, whose role as well has featured prominently. As you can see what happened when they had another meeting in Cape Town, where basically he is said to have chastised the board and the management, saying, so why are they keeping on with this route, because it was loss-making. And during the meeting, apparently Minister Gigaba didn't contribute much other than to say there are people who would like to join us. And guess what? Those people were the same people who they had met in December. This time round it was in April. So that is the role really, Nzinga, of the two individuals, the legal advisor of the minister then, Siyabonga Mahlangu, and the minister himself. He is basically saying, she is basically saying, the only route that he specifically spoke about was the Mumbai route, which really confused them because there was a loss-making route in Nzinga, the Johannesburg to Botswana one. Apparently that route was making so much loss. They wanted some approval from the shareholder, but it didn't come. So that is the thrust of the earlier evidence that Cheryl Carolus gave here at the commission.
Mzwandile, we heard a lot of confusion and bewilderment by Cheryl Carolus on this issue that you've just touched on, saying that it even went a bit further where the SAA board, the SAA chair, if I'm correct, or chief executive, was chastised by those people from Jet Airways in India, saying that she was almost shouted at. And Minister Gigaba didn't, according to her testimony at the time, intervene. And it was Deputy Minister Ben Martins who had to step in because these people almost felt as though they could tell SAA what to do with their routes. Based on that and the kind of explosive allegations that she made, do we know if we're going to see former Minister Malusi Gigaba coming to the commission and putting his version and perhaps testing her testimony?
Absolutely. I mean, based on what is happening here in Nzinga and based on the attitude of the judge, I mean, we've been observing the proceedings and the kind of the questions the judge is asking. I think one of the perhaps pertinent questions the judge asked was, how possible was it that people from outside government, in fact, foreigners, could come and chastise people here without any intervention from the minister? So I think given what the judge has been saying and what he has been doing, those who are implicated and then those he feels they strongly need to answer or respond. So the commission is basically within its rights to issue summons to those individuals. I can guarantee you that given what has been happening here and the kind of the information the judge would want, so chances of him perhaps at some point issuing summons to those individuals implicated are very, very high in Nzenga.
Zondile Becher giving us an update there from the state capture inquiry. He's following that story and will keep us updated for as long as it continues today. It's time